All right, we're going to talk about applying kind of coordinate geometry to these images and kind of getting an idea of how we would label them. So the first one we have SQRE as a square, where SQ is equal to 2a. So the length of that is equal to 2a. And the axis bisect each side. So because we're setting this up, I want to know the coordinates of each of these items. Okay, so if I know this whole length here is 2a, I know the length here is a and a. Well, if I start here and I go out, that forces this to be a, comma a, because these are all going to be a. So I should probably make these negative a just to kind of indicate. And here I would be able to label all of them. So this would be a, negative a, this would be negative a, comma negative a, and then this one would be negative a, comma a. So we could label that as such. Now, if it didn't say that the axis bisected it, I could shift this around to be where E was at my origin, and then S was at 2a, and R was at 2a, and then Q was at 2a, 2a. So one of the things that we want to do when we're doing this kind of coordinate geometry is we want to use some of our coordinate plane here. So a lot of times we want to put a coordinate at the origin. We want to use one side on either the y-axis or the x-axis, or we want to use those axes to split it. Okay, so the next one we see is going to be a triangle here, and it says TI is 2a. So this is kind of that same thing. Well, why did they put R to be on the y-axis? Well, the nice thing about that is that this distance here is my height of my triangle. So now it says that this is 2a. So if this is 2a, this has to be a, and this has to be a. So this is going to give me the coordinate negative a, 0. This is going to give me the coordinate a, 0. Okay? And so it's isosceles. R could be anywhere on that piece if I was giving a little bit more information. Okay? All right. So the next one. So we're going to be looking at identifying coordinates here. Okay? So it says, what are the coordinates of D, the point of intersection of the diagonals of ABC, ABCO. Okay, so this is the origin. They use the origin as one of the corners. So now I can find my coordinates here. Okay, so they've already given me my pieces here. Well, remember the diagonal has to be, or D is going to be the intersection of the diagonals. It's going to be the midpoint of these. Okay, so I'm going to use the origin and B. So I'm going to find the midpoint of OB. So and that's going to be D. So D equals 2A plus 2B over 2, comma 2C over 2. Well, plus 0, right? So this is going to be A plus B, comma C. So I know that A plus B, comma C is going to be my midpoint of D. I could have used AC, done the same thing. So let's find AC, let's find the midpoint. So that's going to be 2A plus 2B over C, comma 2C plus 0 over 2. Once again, it's going to be A plus B, comma C is my coordinate for D. Okay. Now, this is kind of leading us up into coordinate proofs, and we would use this information to set up for our coordinate proofs. Okay, so we're going to use this and use information in our coordinate proof.